Hello everyone and welcome to another build order lesson from me, Buddha. And, well, today we're not going to be doing so much of a build order, we're going to be doing a little bit more of a late or mid-game build concept. And I'll show you what I mean in a second, but I'm going to go ahead and speed this game up a little bit because I've already done a lesson on the build I'm going to open with, which is DRG's 7 Roach Rush against Terran to stop a lot of, any kind of Hellion opening. My opponent today is Emerald Dawn, and he's off racing for me as Terran, so I can show this build. So his build isn't going to be all that refined, to say the least. But he's helping me out, so I thank him for that. And this is really more to get an idea behind the concept. And this build does work through low masters, at least. I haven't tried anything higher than that, but it's pretty potent, and it's a good way to use a Nydus Worm for once, actually, in a pretty respectable manner, I would say. So. Again, we're going to open with DRG 7 Roach Rush, 15 Hatch, 16 Gas, 15 Pool. Get those Zerglings out to deny this Scout. Get the Double Queen out. Continue to mine Gas. And, of course, this build is a little bit readable, so Emerald Dawn sees that I mine more than 100 Gas. And, of course, 28 Roach Warren, 27 Overlord. And I'm going to go ahead and send this Ling up here in just a second, I think, to scout his front, see what he's got. I know he hasn't expanded yet. And I'm going to see that he has a Marauder, a couple Marines, all that kind of stuff. So my Roaches are in fact going to stay home. And we're going to continue injecting all that kind of stuff. Lair goes up immediately, and I take all 4 of my gases here. Alright, so I'm going to drone up pretty, relatively heavily here. Going to, it looks like 48 drones. And, you don't have to make 48, but it allows your production to spike a lot, especially with making a lot of Roaches. So. We're going to start maxing out on Roaches. We're getting dropped first, and then Glial Reconstruction for Roach speed, and then Overlord speed. Obviously in that order because they take about, well, that's the order that they come up in when you're looking for speed, or how long they take. Overlords are going to load up, take all the Roaches, and we're going to put a Nydus Worm in the bottom of our base. Now let me slow this down for a second. We're going to keep loading and rallying all of our Roaches to that Nydus Worm. As you can see, our Overlords are going to come in the back of our opponent's base, and they're just going to go ahead and drop, and we're going to use that to cover the Nydus Worm we're going to throw down. Right, so as you can see, we're still making Roaches in the production tab. Nydus Worm is being covered by the Roaches we're dropping. We're going to drop creep everywhere to get a nice coverage in his base of creep. We already have Roach speed, and essentially what this does is it makes Siege Tanks negligible in the sense that we don't have to deal with them quite as much because they don't have that wall to protect them. And Siege Tank range obviously is what makes them so great. But we get right up on the Siege Tanks and basically take out all of his production. And there are a couple of other cool things to do with this build. Obviously, I'm going to win this particular game, but as you can see with, even decent just move your Roaches around micro, if you want to call that micro. We can pick off every Siege Tank, take damage, but not too much damage. You can include things like Burrow, like +1 armor. I prefer armor over attack in this case because of Marine DPS. But if we take a look, because I have this Nydus Worm at home, if he is out on the map attacking me, and I kill off a bunch of his infrastructure and he's trying to do a giant counter, we can always just get back in the Nydus Worm and unload at our base. We can even throw another Nydus Worm down here to get a nice flank so that when we attack, if he's at our ramp, we can have Roaches on the inside and outside of our base, kind of sandwiching those Siege Tanks again. We've already done a ton of infrastructure damage, and we have control of the center of the map because of our Ling, and we can even use the Roaches at that point. We don't mind that he knows we have Roaches. We just don't want him to see how many we have, so make sure you hide those Roaches, on the side of your base up here, somewhere where he typically won't scan, but still in a relatively defensible location. And there are certainly ways to stop this, but this is a pretty difficult build to stop, even if you see it, because you can send your Overlords somewhere different. If they're lining with turrets or Marines, you can put empty Overlords up front to defend those Overlords that have Roaches in them, and this is a pretty powerful build overall, so hopefully that helps out, gives people a nice way to learn to use the Nydus Worm in other ways that aren't, hiding Nydus Worms in the corner of your bases, because of course high-level players will always be out on the lookout for that, and should typically be able to stop it. But this way, you're defending your Nydus Worm, using it as a reinforcement point, using it as a retreat point if you need to, and yeah, I think this is one of the most effective ways to use the Nydus Worm so far. So please let me know what you guys think about this. Leave a comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And thanks for watching.